What is going on, everyone? Chris with Swagglehaus Comics and Pop Culture. Hope everyone is having a great day today. I know I am, and I have another awesome video. Today we're going to talk about how comic book shops can survive the online boom in this current age of COVID. If you guys aren't subscribed to the channel, please take some time to do so and check out all the awesome links below, including my link to my official Swagglehaus Comics merch. I always tell you guys, it's still cold out here, and I'm bundled up in one of my hoodies. It's so comfy and soft. Check out some merch, help support the channel. Also, there is the link to my Patreon channel where you can support the channel via patreon.com for only $3.99 a month. You get all kind of extra perks, including exclusive Patreon-only videos, Q&A videos, early access to speculation and investment videos, automatic entry to all my Patreon-only contests, and so forth. And of course, guys, check out the comic book canon link below as well, where we have our live shows every Friday night. Now, before I get into the video, I do want to talk about one more thing, and that is my discount promo offer for Covrprice.com right now. The promo code is below, and the steps that you need to follow in order to get that discount are below as well, too. If you guys aren't familiar with Covrprice.com, please check them out. I think it's essential for every collector. I'm a paying member month to month. You get access to sales data. It's full-on database. You can store and monitor the value of your comic book collection. You guys can get the first 2 months for only $1.99 when you use the code Swagglehaus Comics. This code is good until April 26th, so definitely take advantage of that, guys. You can cancel at any time as well, so I highly recommend trying it out. But now, all right, let's get into this video. I want to talk about the state of the comic book shop, the state of the LCS, and what that means right now in this current state of COVID. I hear so much negative talk and rhetoric about how, I even had one guy say, like, the majority of shops have closed due to COVID. That is just not true. Yes, some shops have struggled and some shops have shut down, especially early on when businesses had to completely shut their doors and whatnot. So it's been tough. There's no denying that. But I'm going to talk about 4 main points on what LCSs can do to survive this current state right now, which is really seeing an online boom, right? So we'll get into that, all right? Now, I want to reiterate again before I go into these 4 points. There's advantage to be taken, right? And sometimes you need to make the best of bad situations. So I'm not trying to sugarcoat the fact that the world is crazy right now and it's tough on small businesses. As we evolve outside of even COVID into the technological age, we know that retail businesses continue to suffer. The age of Amazon and eBay and buying online and your ship to homes and whatnot. This has already closed down a lot of big retailers. So you got to take that consideration at heart when talking about any type of retail business, not just comic books or your LCS, right? But let's focus now on the 4 points and looking at the situation that is COVID and how LCSs can adapt. All right, and that's a big key word here, adapt. The bottom line is that LCSs need to adapt. And my number 4 point, all right, is it's 2021. Create a website, all right? Create a website. If you are an if you are an LCS brick and mortar comic book store right now and you don't have a website, you're shooting yourself in the foot. If you're failing, if your business is failing and hurting right now and you don't have a website, I'm not going to be an a-hole and laugh at you or ridicule you, but I'm going to give you some tough love because the website is absolutely key for many reasons. Now, let me explain. It's 2021. You don't need to hire a digital coder, a CSS or HTML coder to run a website, to build a website anymore. You have Wix.com and other websites that allow you to drag and click to build your website. And all you got to do is, usually it's like, I've seen anywhere from $5.99 to $9.99, maybe $14.99 a month to house your website. And you could get a domain name for like $10 or $12 from GoDaddy or something like that. And then you own that name. Like if I was to get journalscomics.com, It's very affordable, and you don't need to be coding savvy in order to run and maintain a website. So basically, if you're an owner of a shop, you don't even need to do it yourself. You literally, you could get one of your standard sales employees, or you can even hire for that position. But if you don't have the overhead to hire a new position to run a website, you can have your employees or a select few employees work on it, maybe an hour or so a day to keep it up and maintain. Now, a website can work for multiple reasons, or there's multiple variables that a website can bring to the table. One is just that online presence, right? Just having the website and saying, check us out at .com. That right there is very important in the age of social media and in the age of the internet. Just having a presence where people can learn about your store, they can contact you, ask you questions, see what upcoming events are happening. But the bigger takeaway from having a website is your ability to actually sell product online. All right. And it's not the only place you can sell online, but we'll get into that later. I'm going to use State of Comics, for example. State of Comics, a shop out of Michigan, is a great website. I use them for my FOC orders, and they do an amazing job. So, for them, as an example, they don't put all their back issues up. You're not like a big online retailer like Midtown or My Comic Shop, where you could go and you could buy thousands and thousands of back issues catalog. You don't need to do that, especially if you're just a small shop. But I use State of Comics for my new releases in the FOC orders. And if you offer something like that, again, it's not that hard to keep up, and it's something that you can actually gain a customer base that's not even local to you, so you can reach nationwide, or maybe even North America wide if you want to ship to Canada. It's very, very feasible to expand your market base that way. Because look, I get my FOC orders from State of Comics, which is a LCS out of Michigan, and I'm in California. So there it is. That's my first tip. You got to have a website. What variables you want to house on your website, that's another conversation to dig more into detail, but you got to have a website in 2021, all right? Third point of today, all right? This pairs into what I was saying about online sales. Live sales, especially in the age of COVID. I'm going to give another example. A1 Comics. You guys know that I talk about A1 Comics all the time. That is my shop. They have 3 locations in the Sacramento area. And when COVID hit and they had to close their doors, they took advantage and ran with it with online sales. They started boosting up their social media presence on Instagram, even Facebook, and Twitch. They got a Twitch account and started doing Twitch streams. But they do their IG live sales every Wednesday and Friday. They even did Facebook live sales during the early stages of COVID. Now they're just focused on Instagram, which is I think is solid. But you take advantage of the evolving market. Unfortunately, the evolution in this state was strictly because of COVID, and we had no choice, right? Because we as consumers, we couldn't get to the stores. We couldn't go into the stores. So what do? Put your books up online. Live sales are very, very feasible. And I use A1 Comics because you can see how they've been killing it in live sales. You can spruce up live sales like A1 does. They make them themed. They have a Silver Age live sale, or a independent themed live sale, or a Batman themed live sale, something like that. And it makes it really fun. They do raffles during the live sales. They do like a big auction book at the end of the live sale. Most of the live sales are claim sales. So you have a book, you set your price, and the viewers can claim it. It's been extremely successful for them, and it's been extremely successful for a lot of people. Even after COVID, even when COVID goes away, our evolution in our ability to utilize social media has changed, and the live sales are not going anywhere. Even if we get back to some type of normal, post COVID, and we're going to our stores and we're going to cons like we were before, the IG, the Facebook live sales, they're not going away. All right. Number 2 for today is loyalty reward systems. Now, this has really nothing to do with COVID. This is just a best practice, pre-COVID, post-COVID, COVID, it doesn't matter. Reward your customers. Reward your customers. I can't say it enough. Again, I'll use A1 Comics as an example. Comic Command Center is another one local to me that has an awesome loyalty program. So for both Comic Command Center and A1, for every dollar spent, you get a point. All right. And with those points, as they accumulate, you get rewards. So, say for every $400 spent at A1 Comics, you could get 20% off a book, or you could get $20 off of a trade paperback. Similar stuff with Comic Command Center. And then, Comic Command Center sends you rewards for being a loyalty customer on certain occasions, like for your birthday. So I think for your birthday, you get like 30 or 35% off any item in the store, no matter how priced it was. So I went and bought a Doctor Strange #1 and got a big chunk off of that. Or maybe it was half off. It might have even been half off, because I think the book was like $60 and I ended up paying 30 or something like that for my birthday last year. Reward your customer base. There's an unlimited amount of ways and things that you can do to reward your customer base. Pull list, right? For anyone on a pull list, offer them like a monthly, 20% off coupon. Or, if you keep 3 books in your pull list, anytime you buy a trade paperback, you get 10% off. If you keep 6 books in your pull list, anytime you buy a trade paperback, you get 20% off. Something like that. So like the more that you spend, the more you're rewarded. There's just so many ways to do it. And for me, who's just getting into the sales aspect, and I'm going to be doing my first claim sale on Instagram maybe later this week or next week. I don't know exactly how I'm going to do this yet, but for, if obviously the more books you buy or you claim, you're going to save on combined shipping. But also, I'm going to do something like to where if you buy 5 books, you're going to get 10% off off the total price. If you claim 10 books, you might get 15% off your total, something like that. I'm going to work in. So it rewards your customer base. I go into so many shops still to this day that have no loyalty system set up. There's shops that don't even offer sales. And that's another thing that you could pair into the loyalty, but anybody can take advantage of is sales. And I'm going to use A1 again and Comic Command Center again. They'll have, President's Day sale or 4th of July sale or end of year clearance sale, 50% off all back issues or something like that. I'm telling you, these are things that are going to keep bringing customers back into the doors. All right. There's so many shops that never have sales, that don't have any loyalty reward systems. And it just, in 2021, it boggles me. So take advantage of, if you're open up now, but you have limited foot traffic because of COVID still, reward those customers that continue to come. It's simple. And then just map out how you feel you want to do that and what rewards you want to, follow through on. So, all right. I got one last tip of the day. Number 1, an LCS is not eBay. All right. And what that means is this. And this is specific to the COVID age because, like I said, we've been forced home, right? We've been forced out of our shops. So in this time, we've been forced to buy on eBay or, buy from websites that ship to home. But we have to understand, especially as we open up, even if it's to limited capacity, sometimes you're willing to pay more of a premium on eBay because of the convenience that it gives you. And I've talked about this before. And this really goes more for, this is more for your run-of-the-mill standard back issue books. I'm talking about back issue catalogs. I'm not talking about books that are hot because of spec or because of WandaVision or some MCU hype or some movie hype. And I'm not talking about keys at all. Sometimes you can almost find keys for a better price on eBay than an LCS simply because you get into a bidding war and you get a solid bid on it, right? Sometimes people are willing to take a best offer. I'm talking about back issues. Back issue books on eBay are going to sell for a higher premium than they should at an LCS store. But another thing that you need to take into consideration is, what's your competition look like? Are you in a big city? Do you have multiple LCSs around you? Or are you the only LCS in a 300-mile radius to where, look, hey, even with the foot traffic, even with people hopping in their cars, spending the gas money and coming to your store, they might be willing to pay a premium. But more so than not, and somebody said this in a comment in one of my videos, and I love it, and I'm probably going to use it for a long time. So whoever that was that said this, I'm still in it, but I'm trying to give you credit even though I don't remember your name. What do we need the LCS for if we could just sit on our couch or sit in our beds and sit from the fingertips of our phones or our computers and buy it off eBay? If I have to drive 30 miles, 100 miles or so forth and get in my car, get dressed, get in my car, spend gas money, and go take the time to go to an LCS where I could be getting your standard back issue books for the same price that I can get them on eBay, what's the point of needing the LCS anymore? So, even if you're hurting, you need to gauge your back issues appropriately. Don't try to just sell them for what you see them selling on eBay. Allow yourself to gauge eBay sold. Gauge Covrprice. Gauge Key Collector. Use all these different sources. But you know what? And I always say this because people say all the time, is Overstreet even relevant these days? It absolutely is. And I'm going to tell you what for. For your standard back issue. It's not going to know that, look, the recent Overstreet isn't going to know that West Coast Avengers 45 is no longer a $5 to $10 book. And that it's selling for $80, $100 to $150, right? Depending on grade right now. So don't depend on Overstreet for that if you're an LCS. But for your standard back issues that don't have the hype, that don't have speculation, and aren't a growing key, I highly recommend using Overstreet still because it sets the standard and base your sales on, base your prices on that. But again, for me, if I had an LCS and I was pricing my standard back issues, I would be looking at Overstreet, Covrprice, Key Collector, and eBay sold at minimum. I might even be looking at more sites. We have to be able to understand that I'm taking the time out of my day as a collector to drive to the LCS to get these books. It's an experience, yes, but when the prices aren't competitive enough for me to say going on eBay isn't worth it, I'm going to go to my shop, then it becomes a problem, and it's going to drive customers away from wanting to go to the shop and having that experience because they would rather have the convenience for the of purchasing these books from the comfort of their own home if they can get them at the same price. So, with that being said, it's really a fine line that I think LCSs need to walk, because you know what I'm all about? I'm all about the businesses being able to maximize their product, and I'm all about putting the entitled collector in check. No, you are not. Just because the market is healthy in these books, even standard back issue books might be increasing in value. You're not entitled to it because you didn't want it when you could get it out of the dollar bin, right? Look, the hobby's healthy right now. The values of books are increasing. But still, we need to understand the market that we're in. We need to understand healthy competition. And we want to be able to allow our prices to have these consumers want to keep coming back to our store and say, you know what? I could get it on eBay for maybe $1 or $2 more, but I'm going to drive to my LCS because I know I could get it for a little bit cheaper, and I want to support my LCS. Something like that. But again, every situation and every book is different. So that's it in a nutshell. All right, guys, that's my 4 tips for how the LCS can continue to survive this online boom of COVID. Again, it's 2021. Create a website. Get involved in live sales. Loyalty rewards. I can't stress that enough. Loyalty rewards. And again, remember, you're not eBay. You're not eBay. So be conscious of pricing competitively, but respectfully to make it worth it for your customer base. That's all I got today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you guys thought of my tips below. If you guys are LCS owners or you work at LCS, let me know what you guys are doing if you feel these are relevant. Let me know if you disagree with me. I'm open to hearing if you disagree. But as always, be kind in the comments. Thank you for watching. And again, please subscribe if you haven't done so yet. I have an awesome 5K celebration live, Friday Night Live, this Friday. And again, I want to thank everyone for helping us reach that 5K subscriber mark. I'm just blown away. And now it's on to 10K, guys. All right, everyone. Be well. And until next time.